And good morning. It helps if you actually have your ears in so you can hear things going well. My name is Jay Clifton Payne. You are watching things you might not have heard. And today happens to be Tuesday, March the 29th, 2022. What's going to happen in the next 10, 15 minutes is we're going to give you five news. And then you cough. We're going to give you five news stories that have been vetted by the great people of the internet because they're so great as conversational. They are not the top news stories. So let me preface that right now. We see ourselves as your basically third line of defense for news. We call ourselves your news side piece. We do not provide breaking news. I am not in Ukraine in a bunker. I am in a living room in Little Rock, Arkansas, aggregating news just like everybody else and giving you some stories that you might have missed in the main headline. Stories that are cool to talk about, stories that people really want to get into, people that really get interested in. And yes, we're starting off with Will Smith, of course, because everyone is, but stories that may not necessarily be the deepest of the journalistic backgrounds. But we do pull from sources of all kinds. Some you may love, some you may hate. You give us your comments, your feedback as you want to, and we'll take every bit as well. Our main website is thisistheconversationproject.com. Stop by the website for information about the project, also links for our sponsorship pages and our partnership pages and other things as well. We'll go deeper into that in a bit. First, let's get into the first story, which is, of course, on Will Smith. Now, the original headline as presented is this one. Will Smith may be stripped of Oscar for violating Academy's code of conduct after slapping Chris Rock. BroBible.com posted this one. As we said in yesterday's edition, the only stories you actually posted along the lines of the Oscars while it was going live, and I wasn't actually watching it, was the fact that the deaf actor from Coda won a male actor for that one. Only the second person, I said first and second person, and the fact that this happened. We didn't actually go deep into it. Well, we're kind of deep into it because this was a teaser story for today. Let's go deeper into the story and what actually happened. Will Smith became extra memey yesterday for what happened yesterday, the day before. That was, of course, after a joke that basically bombed on stage at the Oscars against his wife, Jada Pinkett Smith, against her haircut at the time. Most people didn't quite realize that it was alopecia, even though she talks about it a lot. Remember, we don't all watch the Red Table Diaries, whatchamacallit, and know the intimate secret about her. The joke was bad. Joke went over. Will Smith laughed at the joke, and then the camera went back to Chris Rock, and then next thing you know, Will Smith is walking on stage, punching Chris Rock and cussing him out. And then 40 minutes later, he wins the Best Actor award for King Richard, and he apologized to everybody but Chris Rock. Later on in the day, he did send an apology via the Instagram to Chris Rock, basically, the publicist statement of the day. Here it is, basically saying that, he should not have done that. There were ways to manage that. Jokes against him are valid, but jokes against his wife are bad, which makes the point that why is he laughing at the joke of his wife? We're going to let that go. And going forward, so what may have happened, they actually did talk about, they actually discussed gathering people from the Academy inside of the actual broadcast after it happened to chat about it. The big thing with that is they're all sitting around this theater all over the place, and there's no place to chat it up. They had an emergency meeting afterwards to kind of discuss what's going on, to say maybe Will Smith shouldn't be on the Oscars. He had already won the award, so then they'd have to actually strip him of it. They decided to put out a very strong worded statement because that's what you do. But it really was a possibility that Will Smith could have been taken off the ballot in real time and had his award stripped after the fact. None of that happened. And like we said, Will Smith now offering up an apology for Chris Rock, to Chris Rock, should say, for what happened in the melee. And it wasn't really much of a melee. It was he walked up there, slapped him. Chris Rock actually got a funnier joke out of it. And we sort of moved on, but we had, of course, a full day of memes and commentary from all sorts of folks. We can commentary this one to death if you want to, but we're going to move on to the next story. This is a serious issue. Will Smith, a lot of things brought up about Will Smith in the process. This is something that's not going to die down as quietly as it probably should because, celebrity gossip. Next story in the line. St. Peter's coach Shaheen Holloway is taking the Seton Hall job. DailyCaller.com gave us this one as a more or less sources say, and still sources say. I've not actually had a chance to see anything where he signed the deal or any flashy stuff like that. But the rumor has it, which is usually more truth than rumor, that once a Cinderella story coach makes a big deal, they go to big time money. And bigger jobs with big time money. We saw this here in Little Rock. The coach Chris Beard, who I believe is currently coach of Texas Tech. I can't remember where he's coaching. Chris Beard was once here in Little Rock at the University of Arkansas at Little Rock, took that team to an amazing season, and then all of a sudden couldn't get a contract straight for the next year because, big time money was being thrown at him for being a big time coach and showing what he could do with not so much smaller talent, but just talent. When you give people a chance to show what they can do with their players and their style, you see that bigger eyes to think, hey, maybe this guy can do that with our big time money and big time talent. Looks like Shaheen Holloway will do that at Seton Hall, hopefully bringing them back to glory. I don't know. I'm saying hopefully. I'm not necessarily a Seton Hall fan. Bringing them back to some level of glory, leaving St. Peter's after this point. Now, what people believe St. Peter's is going to get from this was a whole lot of money because St. Peter's is apparently a very cash-strapped small school in New Jersey. We will see whether any financial windfall comes for that team. Obviously, the windfall coming for the coach, but it comes with the coach leaving for what we believe are greener pastures. Let's move on to the next story. Albert Pujols signing 1 year, $2.5 million deal with St. Louis Cardinals. ESPN.com on that one. Also, as I posted it, one of those sources say, speculations say from the insiders, because it seems like Mr. Pujols wants to go back to the Cardinals and retire. It looks like he's ready to call it a year, call it a season, call it a career, and he wants to do it in a place where everybody loves him, in a place where he got his big start, and that is the St. Louis Cardinals here and Cardinals gear. That means he wants to go to Canton, which is basically going to happen in Cardinals gear. I'm sorry, not Canton. Canton is for football. He wants to go to the Hall of Fame in Cardinals gear, wearing a Cardinals cap, and he wants to make sure that is solidified. So signing 1 year to play for the Cardinals, who aren't a bad team, by the way, and have a pretty good chance of making it pretty far this season. We'll see how far they go, how long he's going to be around, and whether Mr. Pujols gets his final batch of flowers in this upcoming season, going out with hopefully a bang in St. Louis. I know my friend Kevin's loving this news right here. Next story we have right now is beer giant Heineken and Carlsberg exit Russia. CNN.com on this one. We could not get out without a Russia story. And this is one of the lower ranked stories, I would say, that we've had in the actual coverage of Russia. But this is one that comes up that's pretty important. It extends the story of the other retailers, the other operators, the other manufacturers, the other businesses pulling out of Russia, literally just being done with Russia. Now Heineken, which is not Australian for beer, and Carlsberg itself, the actual owner of the brewery, are leaving the Russian lands and leaving all operations there. For a person who is, a million miles away, it's hard to understand how things are working over there. We don't really understand. So not in real time what's happening. We see the Russian propaganda news sources, or at least we're told exactly what they're being told. We don't know what's being processed in real time. There are some people who have relatives and family and talk to people in Russia who are getting the kind of weird double speak that people don't understand what's happening. But it's pretty obvious when most of these major retailers are leaving your country that something is up. So whether you believe that the world is against you or whether you believe that there's something wrong and you're just trying to stay quiet, it's hard to understand. All these many companies just pulling up stakes in Russia has to be some sort of symbol to everyone that something is wrong, even if they are the biggest fans of Putin going forward. You hear stories about the oligarchs saying, dude, this is not going so well. This has messed up our money, but Putin's going forward. We will see going much, much forward whether or not we're going to have more of what's going on, and whether this will force Putin to eventually grow 5 sizes that day, and maybe actually, use that heart to pull out and try to fix what he's got going on. At this point, there really is no fix, but I am not a geopolitical analyst. I'm just a guy reading news on the internet. That's what I'm doing at the moment. Quick break from the news. Coming up in a minute, we'll have our final story vetted by you and the teaser story for today. But quick break to talk about Fundrise. Go to our website, thisistheconversationproject.com/Fundrise. That's also in our sponsors package. And you get a chance to get a great deal on getting yourself in for investing. Now, everyone's talking about how to get into investment. Crypto was a thing and NFTs are a thing. You know what's always a thing? real estate. Real estate literally can't go away because we all have to live places, we all have to work places, we all have to store things places. And a great way to get into the world of investing in real estate is by going to Fundrise. Fundrise allows you to invest in funds that basically pool up money so that other people can buy real estate and you get the dividends from them. You don't have to worry about prospecting. You don't have to worry about pulling rent. You don't have to worry about seeing the people. You can see all the perspectives of all the buildings, all the properties, all that's going out there in your fund, as just like it's a regular mutual fund or a stock market fund. It's big, but broken down just like that. And the good thing about what we have going on here is if you use our link here at thisistheconversationproject.com/fundrise for the first 90 days, your advisory fees are waived, free. You get to trade in as much of the real estate that you want to for as much as you want to without any fees taken down. Fees are actually fairly low, so that's a good thing as well. But for the first 90 days, you get to try it out for literally free because they're not pulling any money out of your account for fees, and you will see how quickly that real estate is working. Now, granted, it's not crypto, it's not NFTs, it's not the magic of all those things that really may or may not exist. Real estate does exist. People manage these funds. People actually actively work on these funds. So check them out if you want to do a new type of investment, or you've not quite investment, or if you've been like I have been trying to find ways to get into real estate that is, does not involve buying houses and trying to fix them up. Check out Fundrise and our link. This is theconversationproject.com/fundrise. This is theconversationproject.com/fundrise. This is an affiliate link, so we do get a little bit of a commission off this one. But guess what? It costs you nothing right now because no fees are being levied against you. So check that out. Fundrise will help you get your investments going for your real estate. Now, one more story that is vetted by you. Will explain what that means in a moment. Christian Bale trends because a lot of people still didn't realize he's British. We got this cover.com is a website that we seem to pull a lot of stuff from. Our aggregators like this website. So this is a thing. Apparently, nobody really wants to believe that Christian Bale or Idris Elba or guys like that are British. Tom Holland, he's British. Guess what? Didn't know that? He is. Spider-Man is British. Batman is British. Black Superman is British. All these folks are British. And that's the thing, because people don't understand it, because they see Christian Bale do all these roles like American Psycho and Batman, and he does them to perfection, and people love to see him act. And they don't do an interview where he'll do his British accent and pop up like this and hoop up and drink some tea and stuff like that will happen. And people go, what the hell? What the hell? What the hell? So, and I've had this shtick just going for a while about British actors, basically coming over here, especially British black actors, just showing up, and all of a sudden they're gangsters and they're drug dealers, and they're all these folks like that, and they're the rappers and whatnot. But they're like, playing these Americanized people, but they're British. Daniel Kula, from Get Out. He's British. The guy starring in Power, he's British. All these dudes are British. They have British accents. They have British passports. They don't live here, but they're coming here, and it's not like they're not like taking my roles. They're not offering to me. They come here and they're literally taking over. Christian Bale is an example of that, where people really don't understand, don't know that he actually is not of this nation. Although this is kind of a worldwide broadcast, so maybe that's not the right way to put it. But Christian Bale, guess what? It's not a very big and bright story, it seems like, but we need a little levity for the week as it started off so heavy. And yes, we need a reminder that sometimes British people actually happen to be British. We're going to go to our teaser story right now. We talk about Chris Rock early on, and the slap heard around the world, which is what we're calling it. Chris Rock will be doing pretty good. If you want to talk about this story, you can vote this up throughout the day in the polls with watching the feeds. And this story from Brewer Bible as well. It seems like we got the first story from there. All we did was swap out the Chris Rock picture for the Will Smith picture and slide him a little bit. The slap's still there. Headline is tickets for Chris Rock's upcoming comedy shows skyrocketed from $46 to $580 overnight on ticket reselling apps. If this is something you want to chat about the recovery of Chris Rock he needing an apology because he's about to get paid, we can do that. You can vote the story like this up throughout the day in our feeds. You can be one of the people that vets the stories that are upcoming in the things you might have heard feed going on. Now, what exactly does that mean? Hydration quickly. Hydration, very important. So, what exactly that means? It means that one, we didn't switch the slide properly. So, our main website, as we said, is thisistheconversationproject.com, and where you can find information about the Conversation Project, find links to past things like this, and paste links to past projects we've had that more or less are on a hiatus. We keep saying they're bringing back. They take time, to take effort, to take a little cash, and we'll explain that in a moment as well. The feeds I talk about are our Facebook feed and our Twitter feed. Facebook, we're at This Is a Conversation Project, and Twitter, it's th_conversation. Every 50 minutes, we post a news article, a link from some place. It could be anywhere from ABC to Fox News to sometimes a Newsmax story. You never really know when you get a good headline and something that's a little less crazy. And sometimes a little more crazy because we can use a little crazy sometimes. That's what Seal says. And so what you get a chance to do is as you check your normal feeds for Facebook and Twitter, make sure you follow us. You see the stories can pop by. You can engage in the stories. You and the algorithm help us figure out what stories we're going to talk about. Over the day, you liked it, hate it, you share it, engage with it. The higher engagement it gets, at 5 in the morning on Monday through Friday, Central Time, I pull the stories, I put them in our little algorithm spreadsheet to give us a top to bottom score. And then we go through the top 15 stories on Tuesday through Friday, and we pick 5 of those stories to present to you. On Monday, we go through the weekend, so we go larger pale, a larger sample of 30 stories, and a larger sample to present of 7 stories of that. But we'll present you 5 stories. Sometimes we get an extra bonus story, 6 if it's really important, and put it out there. And that's how the vetting happens, and that's how we pick the stories that come up. So if you want to be a part of the vetter and maybe know some things and hear some things ahead of time, check out our feeds on Facebook and Twitter. Also, if you want to follow us on YouTube, make sure you follow us on our actual YouTube channel. This is found at thisistheconversationproject.com/YouTube. The link to that channel as well for the Conversations Projects YouTube. We do broadcast this on the Facebook page, which is on the same feed as the Facebook page. And on Mondays, we broadcast it kind of wide, but we just want to remind you, if you've stumbled upon this somewhere and you're watching it in some feed someplace, go to the link. This is the conversationproject.com/YouTube. Doesn't have enough juice to have its own name yet, so it is what it is. But that's how you can get to this website via YouTube and subscribe and like the video so more people get to share it. Make sure you share it with other folks so that we can get more people in the conversations. That is going to be it for today. Oh, no, not quite it for today. We had some slide issues, as you can see, so we are all discombobulated. But we are going to get our March birthdays out for the 28th, that being Eric Idle, the OG comedian from the days of Monty Python, 79 years old today. Amy Sedaris, who's just like a cute as a button all over the place, 61 years today. I almost said 61 degrees, like doing the weather again. And Lucy Lawless, of all, she's no wildflower. She's no wildflower. Okay, well, that totally went over my head. Lucy Lawless, who's doing a lot of different things, including she's doing something for, I think it's BritBox, where she teamed up with her Xena Warrior Princess co-star this season, as she plays a investigator. She was on King of Thrones, I guess. Never watched it, don't really care. She's out there, still out there doing her thing, and yes, she's from New Zealand. There you go. 54 today. And today is National Mom and Pop Business Owners Day. You can consider me and my wife a mom and pop business owner with the Conversation Project, being a part of More Better Media, and also our consulting firm, which is Fast Forward Business Properties, both LLCs. So you can support us by checking out our website and stopping on the sponsors going there, or stop by any storefront from any mom and pop, a coffee shop, a flower shop, a tax place. A lot of tax places are mom and pop shops, and show them some love and give them some business and let the people know that they're in good hands with you in the community. Okay, so we're going to wrap it up at this point here. This has been Things You Might Not Have Heard for Monday, March 28th, 2022. My name is still J. Cleveland Payne, and we will do more of this stuff tomorrow, Lord willing, and Creek Don't Rise. Remember, stay hydrated, stay focused, stay on task, stay limber, because we need you for the great things that you are here to do. And so it's going to be a long road. So we need you prepared to take that journey with us. Thank you so much. We're working on more news, as we said, and we want to see you as a part of it tomorrow. Follow us in the feeds on Facebook at This Is the Conversation Project, and Twitter, th_conversation. And you can help us vet the news going forward for things that they, or maybe you, might not have heard.